November 2025, the world turned its eyes to Johannesburg, South Africa, for an event that would redefine global power. The G20 Summit, held for the first time ever on African soil. It did more than gather the world's biggest economies. It shifted the balance of global governance and raised a critical question. For decades, Africa has been sidelined in global decision-making. But in 2025, South Africa broke a global ceiling. The summit was not just symbolic. It marked a turning point. Africa stepping into the center of global geopolitics. For the first time, discussions around the world's economy, climate action, trade system, and global security happened on Africa's terms and in African soil.
Nelson Mandela said, "The time has come for South Africa to take up its rightful and responsible place in the community of nations."
But the moment was not without drama. The United States, traditionally one of the most influential G20 members, made a controversial decision not to attend. Washington's absence sent shockwaves around diplomatic circles. Some called it a strategic mistake, others saw it as a geopolitical statement, a refusal to participate in global order that is rapidly moving away from Western dominance. The absence shaped the tone of the summit and raised a new question about the future of Western influence on the continent. So why did this event shake the world? Reason 1. Africa is no longer a passive actor with the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. Africa is emerging as a new economic giant. Hosting the G20 highlighted Africa's rising negotiating power. Reason 2. New alliances are forming. China, India, Russia, Saudi Arabia, Brazil, Turkey, and the European Union all arrived with full delegation, signaling that Africa is now a decisive battleground for influence. The expanded format, for the first time, South Africa is invited additional African states, creating a hybrid platform many call the G20 Africa Dialogue. Some analysts labeled it as the birth of a G100 style framework, where the voices of developing nations can no longer be ignored. Beyond symbolism, the Johannesburg Summit produced outcomes that many redefined global governance. The Johannesburg Declaration, a collective demand for the global financial reform, including restructuring the World Bank, IMF, and climate financing system. Africa's permanent roles discussion intensified around granting the African Union full permanent membership, making Africa an equal global player. Climate and energy deals. Africa secured major sustainable energy partnerships, including large-scale solar, hydrogen, and mineral processing agreements. Trade reform talks centered around giving African countries greater access to global markets, a shift from the raw material export to value addition.
In the face of significant challenges, and demonstrated our ability to come together even in the times of great difficulty to pursue a better world. South Africa's presidency marks the first time, as we have said, that the G20 has been hosted and held on African soil. We are truly honored and humbled by that, not only as South Africans, but as Africans as a whole. Recognizing the importance of this milestone, we have sought to place Africa's growth and development interests at the heart of the G20's agenda. The greatest opportunity for prosperity in the 21st century lies in Africa. Harnessing that opportunity will require a rather strong partnership between Africa and the G20, and indeed between Africa and the rest of the world.
The summit revealed a truth that the world can no longer ignore. Global power is decentralizing. Africa is no longer the periphery, it is becoming a center. The absence of the United States highlighted a deeper trend a world divided between old powers and emerging blocs. And in this friction, Africa is rising as the neutral bridge, the new frontier, and the new prize. For Africa, Johannesburg was more than a summit. It was a declaration that the continent is done being spoken for, done being sidelined, done being underestimated. Whether it evolves around into a G20, G30, or a bold G100, the world must adapt to a new reality. Africa is shaping global policy, not from the sidelines, but from the center stage.
Voice of Africa by Africans.